Hello, welcome back to Ebb and Flow Creative Co. Today we will be painting a moon with watercolor. So to begin with, I have a square sketchbook. This is the B watercolor sketchbook, and this is my current favorite sketchbook right now. The paper is it's pretty flat, and it's cold pressed, but it's still flat enough to not be annoying, I guess. And it's cotton paper, I believe. I will leave more information about it, but it is my current favorite. And I love the square format because painting stuff in a square is very enjoyable to me right now. So I'm using a compass. This is just the cheapest compass you can probably buy. And I'm using a coal erase pencil in blue. And I'm using blue because it'll blend in better with the moon color, which is going to be great. So I'm going to go about in the center and just kind of make sure that it'll fit without being too big, and start drawing it out. So if you don't have a compass, you can just trace something that is a circle. And I think we will draw in a couple of little star shapes and just little circles. So for a moon, we are going to need a larger paintbrush. Large is relative, but I'm using a size 6, which is actually not very large. And then I will be using Payne's Gray, and this is, I believe, let me see. Oh, this is the Daniel Smith. I like the Winsor Newton better, but this is what's in my palette. And the Daniel Smith Lunar Black. And the Lunar Black is very granulating. So we're going to add a lot more water than that because I thought I was putting it in a pile of water. So, oops. I'm making a mess today, as usual. So let's blot that. And it came up completely. Alright, so you can already see it starting to granulate. And that is the beautiful thing about this paint. The paint almost does the job for you. And the more water you add, the more it granulates. And so you can see it. I'm going to add in the Payne's Gray as well, just to add some variation to tone. And I'm basically, oh, it already looks like the moon. This paint's magic. Isn't it cool? Can you see it granulating? Alright, so we're just adding a lot of water, and then we will add in a bit more paint. And so you can do this with non-granulating paint as well. You might want to sprinkle in some sea salt to make it, give it the effect of granulation as well. And that works best when you have a thicker and darker amount of water or color on there. And then you sprinkle it on, and it just makes all the color kind of separate out. But this paint is super cool. I believe I have moon. No, I don't have moon glow in this palette. If you have moon glow, that's a nice color too. It'll separate out into like purple and kind of like a teal color. And that's really pretty too. Alright, so we don't want to go super dark with the moon. We want it to be pretty light because the background is going to be light. And that is so cool. So you can drop in little dark spots and let them do their thing too. And we're just going to go along the edge water it down a little more so it's not too dark. And let it spread. I'm going to drop in a little more blue here and there. And just working wet on wet and dropping the paint in creates the dark spots. And if any spots are too dark, like maybe this one's a little too dark, we can go in with a clean brush and try to pick up some of that. It kind of just spreads it out. It's a really cool effect. I really love this paint for this. All right, let's try to steal some of that and move it over here. All right. Clean up the edge a bit. And that's how easy it is to paint a moon. So we're going to go in with a smaller brush and add in the little stars. And I think for this, we're going to go fun and add in kind of like this light lavender color and some pink and maybe some teal, some aqua. Just to make it a little more interesting than like yellow. So we'll go in and paint those little stars with a small brush. And we can drop in a little bit of pink into that, just to, let's make it fun. If you wanted to add a little pink into the moon, you can. It's super fun playing with wet on wet. Especially, this paper is really good for it because it's cotton. So that it'll keep it wet just a little bit longer. I'm going to grab this Kuretake I was using earlier. This is the pale aqua, and we'll be painting stars with it as well. And it's okay to go out of the lines for these, so I'll make that one a big one, and that one kind of a big one, because we will be painting around it, and painting around these tiny little circles, it can be pretty difficult. So we'll paint around it, just leave the lines where you can see it. Maybe like a little pink star. And we'll let this dry. Back and everything's dry. So now we will go in and start adding the background. And the background is going to be a pretty dark color. We'll be using some indigo, and we'll be using Payne's Gray and a bit of the Lunar Black. Not a lot, because as you see, it separates really cool. And that's great for the moon, but we want the background to be a little more solid. And so I'm going in with a slightly bigger brush. Again, I'm using the 6, and it has a very sharp point. And we will just start painting around. So I drew out lines before I got started so that I could have a boundary to paint with, but you can go edge to edge. I like doing the edge to edge, but it can be messy on other pages, so sometimes I like to make it to where it has a little border around it, just to keep things a little neater. Alright, so when you're painting a background like this, there are going to be lines, like there's just no getting around it, where you start and stop. But you don't want to paint like here and then over here. And as a person who enjoys painting like that, I'm calling myself out, you can't really do that with this. So you gotta start and work your way around in a methodical way. And for this, I am mixing colors already. If you have more than one dark color, more than a couple of dark colors, that is great. Like I have some Roman Schmal colors that I usually like using for this, but I don't have them over here right now, and I find that it's hard to recommend Roman Schmal right now because they're so hard to get. And when I ordered them, it was so much easier to get them, and it was really not that expensive to order them. I feel like back then I could make a Jackson's order and it was like $5 shipping or, $7 shipping. And now I don't even know what it would be, but it would be depressing and sad. And so I have not tried. If you live in a country where you can get Roman Schmal, they have some fantastic, beautiful dark colors that granulate and color separate, and they're amazing. But for anyone in the United States, they're very hard to get. I keep hoping Blick will start carrying them, but they're a pretty niche paint, so I do love them though. They come in big pans like this, and so they felt even more affordable than American brands at the time, but now they would cost so much to get them. So if you're in America, Daniel Smith is good. There's a lot of independent companies on Etsy who make their own paint that are doing really cool things. I haven't personally tried any of them, but I follow so many of these guys on Instagram, and they're doing really cool things. Just sometimes I feel like I have enough paint, and so it's hard to buy more. And so we're just going to work our way around and try to keep a wet edge as much as possible. And it will not be solid. If you wanted it to be solid, I would make a batch of, like, get a little container and put your paint in there and water it down and do it like that so that you have the same amount of color going in the whole time. I personally like some variation. I think it's fun and a little more my style, so I enjoy that. And it can look a little messy, but I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of enjoy messy. If I wanted it perfect, I would do it digitally. And that is the beauty of watercolor, is I didn't paint that little spot. I think I accidentally stuck my hand in it or something, and it's beautiful, and I'm leaving it. I think we need more handmade stuff lately. We need more imperfection. We need more just stuff where you can tell a human made it. Let's spend more time making stuff. All right, so if you wanted, you could add in a little bit of purple, especially around the stars. That'll be cool. I don't have the darkest purple. It's a kind of a plum color. Let's see, what color is it? Daniel Smith Rose of Ultramarine. So, but it looks really pretty mixing with these colors. And that's another one of my tricks, is to mix in. If you don't have a purple, you could mix in like a pink with the Payne's Gray, because the Payne's Gray is kind of a blue, and it'll make a really beautiful purple. But I love creating like a really weird variation in the background with just dark colors. I mean, even green, like a dark green would look really cool with it. probably the most realistic, I guess, but it might be cool. Or you could mix in, if you don't have a lot of dark colors, you could use a black and mix in a ultramarine, or make your own black by using ultramarine and burnt umber. They make a very beautiful black. And it will be more blue toned, but it is nicer than just black, just regular standard black. So I would suggest doing that. But if you have lots of colors, use them. It's really fun. And indigo and Payne's Gray are two of my favorite colors to paint with. Like, if I could only paint with one color ever, it would probably be indigo or Payne's Gray. But luckily, I don't have to make that choice. But that might be a cool challenge for a video, is just using one color. So leave me a comment if you're interested in that. So when you get to the end, so that you don't have harsh lines, you can take a damp brush and soften those lines, and see right there how I have a really harsh line. Same thing, we're just gonna take it and spread that paint out a bit so that it's not an exact line. And that'll make it look a little more seamless. And so this is my moon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.